We are desperately worried about the slide to a single currency. The Euro bureaucrats are destroying our national identity. No, not another parliamentary speech from a Eurosceptic MP, but the views of the Spice Girls, the hugely successful girls group, in an interview with The Spectator magazine. Our correspondent Matthew Ambroliwala reports on how influential their views might be.
When pop stars start talking politics, it's usually time to duck. The Spice Girls, though, have been given 3 pages in this week's Spectator magazine, the Bible of the intellectual right. The quintet give their views on just about everything, sex, class, but mostly politics. Margaret Thatcher was the first Spice Girl, they say, the pioneer of our ideology, girl power. But it's Europe the band get most exercised about. The whole European federal plan is ridiculous, they say. We're patriotic, the single currency is an outrage. So, naive rantings or relevant debate? With all parties desperate to harness young voters, the politicians aren't lining up to shoot down the band, despite them describing John Major as boring and Tony Blair as a marketing man.
The overall message that the Spice Girls' contribution to political debate is sending to young people is that actually politics is important. And I think that's an important message, given that we know that something like 45% of under 25-year-olds didn't vote in the last election.
Politicians have often tried to cosy up to celebrities, aware of their appeal. Neil Kinnock did it with a pained expression. Harold Wilson was the butt of jokes.
Silver heart, but I still think you should have given one to good old Mr. Wilson.
With other mega bands like Oasis backing Labour, the political stump may be more acoustic this election. One of the Spice Girls wants to stand for Sir Nicholas Scott's vacant Chelsea seat. The Tories, glad of the support, will draw the line at that. Matthew Ambroliwala, BBC News.
And a few minutes ago I spoke to Kate Thornton, the editor of the music magazine Smash Hits, and asked her whether she thought that the Spice Girls' comments would damage their record sales.
I don't think it's going to damage them in any way. I just think it's a very brave thing to do, because not many people in their position will come out and speak as freely as they have. And I think they've backed their opinions up and backed up their arguments. I don't see that their records are, their album is currently sitting at #1. I don't see it falling this week as a result of this. And it certainly can't go any higher, can it?
No, quite. Were you surprised at all by the nature of the views, given that I suppose lots of people assume that young people, most of them anyway, might tend to the left of centre? Lots of these views are certainly not left of centre. Did that surprise you?
I think it's a bit, I think we're a bit too quick to judge that young Britain is there for the Labour vote. I think that there is a mixed bag of views coming from the Spice Girls. Not all of them are Thatcherites. Not all of them are fans of John Major, and not all of them are fans of Tony Blair. Can
we really believe that they're that interested in, for example, revising the Maastricht Treaty and a single currency in a federal Europe and that kind of thing?
Just because they're young and of the job that they do and the way that they look doesn't mean that they're not going to have an interest in politics. I think especially Jerry is very interested in, the environment and the world that we live in.
Given the fact that they've obviously stated these views very clearly, Lady Thatcher is a big heroine of theirs, are they likely to swing any votes, do you think, among young voters?
Maybe. I think certainly they're role models, they're icons, they're people that, young Britain looks up to, they're aspirational. Sure, this can't hurt the Tories, but also, I don't think it's going to be particularly damaging to Labour, because they have, a Labour supporter within the Spice Girls as well.
That's all this Friday lunchtime from the 1 o'clock news. A very good afternoon.